Barbara Palvin is getting real with her fans about a health struggle she's kept private for years, choosing now to open up in a way that feels both raw and deeply human. She recently revealed that she underwent surgery for endometriosis, a condition that has quietly shaped much of her life and caused her an immense amount of pain. For someone who has built a career on poise, beauty, and resilience in front of cameras all over the world, it's a rare moment of vulnerability that strips away the glamorous exterior to reveal the human being underneath. Her admission has already resonated with countless people, particularly women who know all too well what it feels like to live with a body that doesn't always cooperate, even as the outside world assumes everything is perfect. Barbara, known not only as a supermodel but also as the wife of actor Dylan Sprouse, took to Instagram this past Sunday with a heartfelt and candid update. It wasn't framed in glitz or staged perfection. Instead, it felt like a conversation she had been preparing to have with herself before she could have it with her millions of followers. She spoke about her long history of pain, the fatigue that felt crushing, the severe cramps that would often leave her doubled over, the heavy bleeding that made even simple daily activities unbearable, and those nights where she ended up curled on the bathroom floor, wondering if this was just how life was meant to be. Like so many women, she had convinced herself that this was normal, that pain was part of her cycle and something she simply had to endure. But what she didn't know, and what many women discover only after years of unnecessary suffering, was that these weren't just bad periods. They were warning signs of something more serious. After being encouraged by those closest to her to finally see a specialist, Barbara learned she had endometriosis, a condition where tissue similar to the lining of the uterus grows outside of it, causing inflammation, scarring, and immense pain. For years, she had been silently managing a chronic illness without even knowing its name. Barbara explained that 3 months ago, she underwent surgery to treat her endometriosis. The decision wasn't easy. Surgery carries both physical and emotional weight, and for someone whose body is also her livelihood, there must have been layers of fear, uncertainty, and the question of whether things would ever feel normal again. Yet, her tone in the post was one of relief and gratitude. She revealed that for the first time in years, she experienced a normal period, one that wasn't dominated by agony, fatigue, and dread. She called the difference life-changing, and in that simple phrase, you could sense just how much of her daily reality had been defined by silent suffering. Her message to her followers wasn't just about her own healing, it was also a call to action. She urged anyone who suspects they might be going through something similar not to ignore their symptoms, not to accept pain as a normal part of womanhood, but to seek answers and advocate for themselves. Early diagnosis and treatment, she emphasized, can make all the difference in preventing long-term complications. Coming from someone with her platform, her words carried more than awareness, they carried weight, empathy, and the power of example. For her fans, the revelation also provided clarity about her recent absence. Barbara had stepped back from the spotlight for roughly 3 months, a noticeable hiatus for someone so frequently in the public eye. Now, she explained that she needed time to rest, recover, and allow her body to heal properly. The honesty in her explanation was refreshing, especially in an industry that often pressures women to bounce back quickly, hide vulnerability, and pretend as though nothing is ever wrong. Instead, Barbara chose transparency. She admitted she needed the time, she took it, and now, she's ready to return, healthier, stronger, and more in tune with her own body than ever before. The response to her post was immediate and overwhelmingly supportive. Fans flooded the comments section with messages of encouragement, admiration, and gratitude. Many praised her for using her platform to shed light on a condition that affects millions of women worldwide yet is still underdiagnosed, misunderstood, and often dismissed. For some followers, her story was validation of their own struggles. For others, it was education, an introduction to a condition they may not have heard of until now. For nearly all, it was a reminder that even those who appear flawless from the outside face silent battles, and that talking about them can be a powerful form of healing. Barbara's decision to go public with her diagnosis also reflects a broader cultural shift, where more women in the public eye are speaking up about health issues that were once kept private. Celebrities like Lena Dunham, Halsey, and Padma Lakshmi have previously shared their experiences with endometriosis, helping dismantle the stigma that often surrounds women's health and giving language to a pain that has too often been minimized. By adding her voice, Barbara joins a growing movement that insists women deserve to be believed, deserve proper medical attention, and deserve relief from suffering that has too often been normalized. Her story also takes on another layer of significance when you consider her personal life. Barbara and Dylan Sprouse have become one of the most adored celebrity couples of their generation, admired not only for their chemistry but also for the way they balance humor, love, and authenticity. Behind the curtain of that seemingly effortless relationship, Dylan has likely been a quiet source of support during her health journey, encouraging her to seek help, standing by her through surgery, and cheering her on through recovery. While Barbara didn't go into detail about how her marriage factored into this chapter of her life, anyone who has navigated a health crisis knows how deeply personal relationships are affected. To know your partner stands by you not only in glamorous moments on red carpets but also in the darkest nights on the bathroom floor is something that strengthens bonds in unspoken ways. Her openness also resonates with a larger audience because it highlights a universal truth: health is the great equalizer. No matter how successful, beautiful, or accomplished someone is, the body has its own realities. Pain doesn't discriminate, and neither does illness. For Barbara, sharing this chapter was an act of both courage and solidarity. It says to women everywhere, you are not alone, your pain is real, and you deserve answers. In a world that often glamorizes perfection, Barbara Palvin chose honesty. She stepped into the conversation about endometriosis not as a supermodel, but as a woman who has lived through pain, fought to understand her own body, and emerged with a newfound sense of empowerment. Her journey reminds us that strength isn't just about appearances, but about the willingness to confront what hurts, speak openly about it, and encourage others to do the same. And now, as she returns to her work and to the public eye, Barbara does so with a story that will continue to inspire. She is not just walking back into modeling with a healed body, she's walking back with a message, a voice, and a deeper connection to the millions of women who saw themselves in her story. It's a reminder that even in the world of fashion and fame, the most beautiful thing someone can offer is truth. Barbara Palvin is getting real with her fans about a health struggle she's kept private, revealing she recently underwent surgery for endometriosis after years of painful, debilitating periods. The supermodel and wife of Dylan Sprouse took to Instagram Sunday with a candid update, saying she long believed the extreme fatigue, severe cramps, heavy bleeding, and even nights spent on the bathroom floor were just part of her cycle. But after being encouraged to see a specialist, doctors discovered she has endometriosis. Barbara says she had surgery 3 months ago and, for the first time, experienced a normal period. She called it a life-changing difference and urged followers who suspect something similar to seek answers, stressing early diagnosis and treatment can prevent long-term complications. The Hungarian beauty also explained her recent 3-month hiatus, saying she needed time to rest and fully heal. Now, she's ready to get back to work, healthier, stronger, and more mindful of her body than ever. Fans flooded her comments with support, praising her honesty for shedding light on a condition that affects millions of women worldwide.